Hello and welcome to the Marin-Sonoma Shop Local podcast, where we highlight local businesses, their products, and their services so that you can make the informed choice of where to shop local next. I'm here with SCI Fit Petaluma owners Jessica Blum and Devin Newsom, and we are going to talk about today why SCI Fit spinal cord injury is a lot more than just your average personal training facility, but it is a full-on specialty that they are just taking over with the Bay Area. So, Devin, Jessica, thank you so much for popping in today. Hopefully, I don't slur over my words like this as we continue. How is your day going thus far?
Pretty good.
It's going well. Had a nice busy day and winding down now with a nice little conversation.
I like it. Do you have the pup there with you? He was there last time I was in the facility.
Yeah, he's in here somewhere. Yep, he's here every
Chewing on a
day.
toy.
Yeah, he's got a new toy. Someone just brought one in for him today, so he's got something he's gnawing on back there.
Everyone's favorite employee.
If he wants to pop on, he's welcome to. If he has anything to say,
We'll get him in here at some point for sure.
So, if anyone has listened to our previous podcast from Dr. Josh Madonic or Cassidy McCurdy at Pivotal Pelvis, you will know that when I ask, what's one business you want to give a special shout out to, they have said SCI Fit Petaluma. So, we're pumped to have you guys on here. And, like I said, you guys are really a specialty and a niche within the fitness industry because you're not just walk in and Joe Schmo is going to come in for personal training. You really cater to a special population. So can you both dive into what SCI Fit really does and what you offer?
Yeah. So basically, we're an exercise-based program that specializes in working with anybody with a neurological injury or disorder. So that can stem anywhere. It's kind of originated with spinal cord injuries, with our founder actually sustaining a spinal cord injury and wanting to kind of start something like that up in the Bay Area for people that have suffered the same injury. But also now we've kind of stemmed to include, things like stroke, multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, anything within that neuro population is kind of the people that we are trying to reach.
Wonderful. And I would assume you have some specialized equipment in there for these circumstances. Can you maybe give me an example of why SCI Fit, why they come to you for this and what you have there to accommodate people of different needs?
Yeah. So we definitely have some specialized equipment if we're talking like something like a Locomat where it's like a robot assisted gait training machine where we can strap people in, hook up the lower body, and the machine will help people take steps, and we can do things like change how long the stride is, control how much loading their body gets. So we definitely have some specialized stuff like that. But I would say just a bigger reason, not a bigger, but another good reason to come would be more so that all we work with is neuro. It's all day, every day. That's all we see. So we've seen as many iterations as you can think, right? And so, you can have someone who's got a spinal cord injury at whatever level you want to choose, and we have 5 people that all present differently, and so we know different approaches for different things that may not have been seen by that. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. And your Instagram has also been shouted out multiple times on this podcast or previous episodes. So I have seen a bunch of work that you two have done with so many different people, and it's really life-changing. I want to hear from both of you, one client each, where you really take some pride in their outcome, and tell me about the process with those clients.
Do you want to first?
One client.
We'll be here all day if I just
it's hard because it's not like, oh, we do so much, but it's just like the range of things that happen, and you get so many people that get small things that happen for them that make huge differences in their life, but just where it's, I can feed myself. Or I remember we had one guy, like it was funny, but it was a man he was able to stand up and pee for the first time in like years, and he was super pumped about that. So that was super exciting for him, right? But it's hard to pick just one. There's big things, there's the obvious ones that people start in a wheelchair and a couple times have ended up not using that, but there's a whole range of things that we get excited for and are super pumped to see for people.
Yeah, like similar to what he's saying, it's like I think a lot of times people look at like, okay, people taking their first steps, like that's a huge thing and that definitely hits us. But just as much, it's kind of like those smaller things that help people become more independent. So like I've had clients where we're working on the ground and they're able to roll over for the first time on their own and get themselves props on their elbows. And so like that's something that if they're laying in bed in the middle of the night, they might not have to have a caregiver or a family member come and roll them over. They can do it on their own. And so it's just like when they kind of like that light comes on and they're like, oh my gosh, I just did that by myself. Like that's huge. And so as much as like those big moments of like the taking the first steps or the standing is huge, the smaller things are like they hit just the same.
Yeah.
I think independence is the best word there. Like Devin talking about someone standing up and going pee for the first time by himself in years, and like you said, they don't need a caregiver at that point. And those little changes, again, follow what is your Instagram? Let's put it out here right now for people that are listening, since I'm bringing it up so much.
SCI Fit Petaluma.
Perfect. And you can see so many of those changes they're making. Not the person going to the bathroom, but the work and their training that they're doing. You can see right on there.
No PG.
Yeah, you won't see bathroom footage, but you'll definitely see the rolling. You'll see the little arm movements that lead to someone being able to feed themselves, doing that type of thing. So, yeah.
And Devin, I've heard you talk before at a networking event, and you've talked about, I want to say the word grants, but I might be wrong. But can you talk about your pricing and some grants and programs that allow some of these families that I'm sure struggle with all the costs that come along with these conditions? So how you're able to accommodate them in that way?
Yeah. So grants is the correct word for sure. So our pricing, our hourly rate is $115 an hour, and that's for if you're working with us for 1 hour per week. And then the pricing per hour goes down as your hours per week go up. So then it varies depending on how long you're in the building. We do free evaluations on everyone, and at that evaluation, we give them a list of grants that we have found people have had success with. Two huge ones that we make sure we mention every time are Victoria's Victory Foundation and NorCal SCI. Those are they've helped us out, two companies that have helped us out a ton and helped our clients out a ton as far as being able to pay for things inside the facility. Another one is the Perseverance Project that's going on, and they all help pay for just exercise-based, activity-based therapy like this, but also can help with home improvements, can help with vehicle modifications, those types of things. So it's not just, hey, we want you to do this so you can come see us. It's, here's some ways you can get more money to make sure you can roll into your shower, or to make sure you can get up your ramp to a front door instead of having to go around the back of your house to the back door, that type of thing. So we make sure we point those out at the end of every evaluation.
That's amazing that you have these foundations to go to for that, because those aren't just, like you said, it's not just for with you, it's their whole life you're trying to help them with, and it all blends in together.
Yeah.
They've been, and they're great. Like I said,
Helped us for
Victoria's
years.
Victory, NorCal SCI, Jess talks to them. Jess talks to them a lot, but they've definitely done a lot. And now Perseverance Project, they're in their second year open, and so now they're starting to do their grants too.
And Victoria's Victory is great too, because they help people all over the nation, potentially even the world, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they're even based out of more the East Coast, but they help people everywhere. So yeah, we're extremely grateful for all the help that they give to our clients.
That's phenomenal. I'll be sure to tag them if they have Instagram handles as I post this.
Yeah.
So you guys have done a whole lot for people. Can you tell me a time where you were blown away? I'll say by the patient's reaction, but I'll also say their families as well, because I would assume you have people popping in to give you a big old hug for what you did for their dad, their son, their whoever it is in there.
Yeah. Anytime, like we were talking about this a little bit ago, it's like anytime there's tears in the building, like it definitely hits us. Like I think recently we had a client whose family at the end of their evaluation was just like crying and hugging us. They're like, "Thank you so much." I had a client recently that he told me, I didn't even realize at the time, but he started crying at the end of a session, telling me that whatever words of encouragement I had given him, like in one of his first sessions, just like changed his life. And so it's just like stuff like that. Whenever anyone's like crying, you're just like, holy cow, like you're really helping someone. And so, yeah, I think when people get to that point of gratitude, you're just like, this is meaningful.
Yeah. And I'd say the reaction of surprise, I would say they're surprised at how how normal it can feel. Again, you come in, you're around people who understand your situation, and don't tiptoe around you. You know, you're coming in. You might get trash talked to you if that's the type of relationship we have. You know, you're going to see a dog that comes in. Everyone's going to greet you by name. You know, all of our employees greet everyone that comes in the building by name, right? You get it going. You're out of your chair. We have music going. We make it feel as much like a gym. If we want to keep it away from like a therapy setting feel, right? And so make it feel as much like a gym. You're in there with your friends, you're hanging out, it's a nice workout, and it's cool to see the surprise in the face about how normal it feels. I like that reaction and get that. And so
That's amazing. And that's probably exactly what they need after all the time they have to spend tending to whatever injury or condition that it was.
yeah, I mean they end up
They
getting
probably
tipped.
feel like at home when they see you.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get tiptoed around, right? And it's not anyone's fault. A lot of people don't. They're uncomfortable hanging out with someone who uses a wheelchair, or not even if they're uncomfortable, but they're just not sure what they can and can't say. You know, the people joke around about people are worried about saying like I'm going to go for a run or like, but like you can say those things, right?
Yeah.
And so just talk to them like they're a human being, like which is less common than you would think, and it goes fine for them. And so that's what they really appreciate.
I was going to ask what's the best fit for you in a client, but there's so many. So I will reword it and say, what is number one, what's the most common type of client that you get? And then number two, is there anything that's less common that you're like, we should probably get the word out there that we work with this too?
So, I mean, there actually is a best fit. We have people that'll reach out to us and ask, like, post knee replacement, hip replacement. Hey, can I come to you guys? And we're like, we're not the best fit for you. We actually kind of will refer out to Josh at base camp. And so a lot of times it's just anybody with any type of neuro condition. Most often that we see, I would say, is spinal cord injury, stroke, and maybe up there would be multiple sclerosis or cerebral palsy, and traumatic brain injury. Most is definitely spinal cord injury. And I forgot the second part of the question.
Oh, the something that we do work with that we always get the word out.
What would you say on
Well, I
that?
would say the one we could probably get asked the most
I
the
know
most
something.
frequently about, but work with the least. It would say just someone who has Parkinson's. I don't know how many times we've been asked, "Hey, do you work with someone who has Parkinson's?" A ton of times, every single time. Yeah, zero times who work. They never follow. There hasn't been any follow through on that. We tell them, yeah, here you go. Here's the information. But it just so that would be the one we work the least. So like if we say we should get the word out, the word is, any neuro involvement.
Yeah.
We can work with.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's any age range. So the youngest evaluation that we've seen at this facility was a 15-month-old. The oldest client that we have is 90 years old. So we have a range in that whole age range. And then on top of that, it can be someone that has minimal movement. They can only move maybe their eyes. They can't speak or anything like that. And then we have people that are working back to running. So we have huge ranges on both of those spectrums, but basically anything within that neuro field.
So for Parkinson's, what is it that you can do at your facility? Do you still have the Alter G treadmill? I remember that was there.
We ended up getting rid of that one. Just it was one of those things where large percentage of our population wouldn't be able to use it the way that we'd like to use it, and so it was like, hey, it's taking up space. We've actually put some new equipment there that a large portion of the population can use. So we've done that, and so, but with Parkinson's, it would depend on the person, how it presents, how involved they are, and so to say right now what we do with them, we'd have to go through the evaluation and go, okay, now we have a better plan for this person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as of this recording, we're still in March, still in Q1. Is there anything coming up in 2024, any type of projects that you two are hoping to really work on as the year gets going?
Yeah, so we talk about it a lot on wanting to basically build our community. One thing in that way is just having more events for our clients. A lot of times we'll have clients that come in the morning and then clients that come in the afternoon. They don't ever really cross paths, but like we know that they would get along really well. So we like having events like that for our clients so that they can intermingle and everything. And then on top of that is just trying to, our vision for SCI Fit Petaluma is to kind of make it a like one-stop shop. So where clients can come in here, they can have their sessions with us, but they can also get things like massage therapy, they can get chiropractic, all of those sorts of things. And so trying to network with other individuals in the area and see if we can work a way to getting them in the facility, whether it be once a week, once a month, but something where our clients can get a multidisciplinary kind of plan for their program.
Less travel from place to place, and they get it all right under one roof with you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes people get apprehensive about the new stuff, and so if they trust Jessica and me to put someone in front of them that would do good work on them, and so if they know if they're in the building, Jessica and I have talked to that person and vetted that person, so it just adds a layer of trust for them.
Absolutely. They know that you have their best interests at heart in everything that you're going to do. So it just gives that person credibility, having your simple word of yes, they're good for you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch gears here and ask you, what's the best compliment, and it's only one here, the best compliment a client has given each of you?
You go first.
I think aside from the whole like the training aspect is when someone feels like that I'm attentive or that they can feel like safe and comfortable with me. Like he was kind of talking about, we want this environment to just be very comfortable for everybody. And so when someone feels safe when they're working with me, like that really means a lot. I think it goes far really too when you're working with them. When someone trusts you, then they trust you to kind of push that that envelope a little bit and try new things. So I would say definitely feeling safe and comfortable.
I'm gonna go the same as Jess. As soon as someone says they trust you, they feel safe, you know that now they are open to, okay, hey, you're gonna be scared, but we're gonna go to this next step, and they're gonna allow that to happen, right? And then you know as well as we do, like if someone's open to trying something, it's more likely that it's going to be successful. They're gonna get more out of it, that type of thing. So the trust is a huge compliment.
I love that. And when I asked for something, giving you a compliment, you actually didn't make it about yourselves. You made it about how the client feels with you, and that's phenomenal. I had a client. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm short and I'm 5'6", 160 pounds, nothing big. And I had a client. He was 6'3", double hip replacement, and he took this big step one day when we weren't using his walker. And I said, "Holy, you know what?" I'm like, "That's the biggest step you've ever taken." And he smiled at me and goes, "I knew you wouldn't let me fall." Like, looking up at him, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's pressure on me now." Granted, I would never, right? That's why I'm there so close, just like you guys are to your clients.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Once you can see when someone trusts you, they do things.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're
fulfilling.
It's really nice.
Next, we're going to move on to our local rapid fire segment. Being that you're a Petaluma-based business, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your favorite spots and things to do in and around Petaluma. And this round of local rapid fire is presented by Basecamp Physical Therapy. Based in Petaluma, Basecamp Physical Therapy is a premier clinic for athlete rehabilitation. Visit PetalumAPhysicalTherapy.com today to schedule your first session and reach your peak. So you guys ready to talk about Petaluma?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Favorite spot to eat could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
I'm going Lombardi's.
I'm going the local inside Active Gym. The local, yeah.
Jess, you were so quick to that.
It's so good. Like I live all the way up in Windsor, so other than like working down here, I don't get down here often. But we'll do like staff lunches and stuff. And like twice now we've gotten Lombardi's.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And so I just love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
My wife brought it up. People at work mention it, so we're like, we got to get there at some point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely go there.
We're having them
we have a party come up. They're catering it. Yeah.
There we go. Favorite view in Petaluma.
Oh.
I guess that might be harder for you being all the way up in Windsor.
I know.
When I'm driving in the morning. When I'm driving in the morning and it's fog, it's like the fog hasn't quite like lifted yet, coming down over the Katati grade, and you can look down, you can see the fog, but you can still see the green. The trees are popping up through it. I like that in the mornings on the way into work.
Yeah, I'd say kind of with that, there's been times I drive out like on the west side of Petaluma, and just kind of like the back roads over there are gorgeous. I love seeing all like the open green land and everything. So it's my favorite.
I gotta say, I like how you two always seem to be on the same page. Like you both have similar reactions to things, and how you
trust me, we're opposites in everything.
In so many ways.
It works as business owners, I guess. I would assume this plays out in your day to day and working together and making things run smoothly. So that is not part of this segment, but I do want to make that comment that you two just seem to mesh so well together, and that has to brush right off onto all the people that walk through the door.
That's the new best compliment we've gotten.
Yeah.
Don't BS me here. I'm not as important as those other people, but I appreciate it. Favorite event or festival in Petaluma?
Butter and Eggs Day. So fun.
Yep, butter and eggs.
We had a tent at it last year, and that was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys are at a lot of events that I've seen. So how about another event in Petaluma that you've done that you've enjoyed?
Another event that we've done.
We've been at a few we've gone a lot of Sonoma County.
Yeah, Sonoma County. We've been in like a bunch of like farmers markets. A cool farmers market on like that square. What's that square called? The Walnuts by the
direction.
I don't know.
Is it Walnut Park?
Yes. Yeah, I was like, I knew it was in that.
Yeah. There we
go. Oh yeah, that was a cool little farmers market. So we had a thing at that.
We did like an abilities expo. That was more in Santa Rosa. We've done like a 5K that we went out to. I'm trying to think of some other ones.
The Borp run. That's Borp
that
Riding Revolution. That's in Santa Rosa, but it's an adaptive
bike ride,
inclusive bike ride, I should say. So people do 70-mile rides, which no one's doing on the hand cycle really, but they will. You can go out to their facility in Oakland, Berkeley, and get fitted for a hand cycle, and you can ride. It's like 5 miles, 10-mile course, and on a hand cycle for your first time if you want to. And so we volunteered at that the last few years.
We have clients that come from so far. I mean, like our furthest client drives 3 hours. So we try to definitely like do events all over within like Sonoma, Marin, kind of branch out so that a very vast majority of people can see us. Because like, yes, we're centered in Petaluma and we love the local town here, but it's just, we want to make sure that we reach a lot of people too.
So for the listeners, I asked them to go on more because I know they're at a lot of events and there are plenty of chances to get out and see them. So follow their social medias and you'll be able to see where they are at. And we'll go right back to the next question. What's your favorite business in Petaluma other than your own?
Favorite business?
Oh, okay.
Well, if you're talking like what I like to do on the weekends, I'm going to say home goods. It's not exactly a Petaluma business. We love Base Camp PT, obviously.
Favorite business? I like to eat, so it's going to be a food joint, another food joint. What do they go to? Sugo down there? Sugo? Sugo?
I've heard of it. I haven't been yet, though.
Yeah.
So the
Italian food?
spot?
Yeah, on the corner right there. That one's, that's money. I've been there a couple times. That's really good. So if we're talking.
All right, so passionate about Sugo and home goods.
Yeah. I'm like,
no, they're not really Petaluma local, but.
Is there something in Petaluma that you haven't done that is on your list to do next? Business or personal, could be anything.
I haven't thought about that.
Gosh, these are not so rapid.
I know. I don't know what I've heard. Like, what have we heard about? You know, people talk about restaurants all the time that they haven't been to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would probably say like some 5Ks. There's like the we had talked about when we first started. There was like the Clover 5K, I think.
Oh yeah. Right.
And I want to like go to that. I think that'd be nice.
I think that's in like September-ish.
Yeah.
I haven't been to like the Mystic Theater yet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I heard that's for sale now too. That's my understanding. But I haven't been over there to a show yet, and I'd like to do that. That's it.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. I don't know.
Is it for sale? Do you know?
I don't. Maybe on the next podcast we'll get the new owners, if there's new owners. Or the current owners clear this whole spiel up.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'd definitely like to go to a show there.
Yeah, they have a lot of good concerts and stuff.
Right, so that concludes our not so rapid fire.
Fire. We go really long on some and can't figure out anything on the others.
Yeah.
So where can our listeners find you after they're done listening here today?
So we have a website. That's www.sci-fit.org. Are you making fun of me for saying www? Oh, I thought you were going to laugh. And then we have Instagram. That's SCI Fit Petaluma. We have Facebook, SCI Fit Petaluma. TikTok. That's SCI Fit Petaluma too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it doesn't get
And I
banned
don't,
in the next
I know.
month or two.
And I don't think any of them have a dash in them other than our website. Our website is where you can go to apply for a free evaluation. It's where you can get information on all of our different locations and anything about our program and our founders and all that kind of stuff.
What about an email? If they want to email you right now without going to the website, where should they send that message out to?
Petaluma changes at sci-fit.org.
Beautiful.
Would be the best one to do it.
Yeah.
And this podcast is all about highlighting our local businesses. Is there one in Marin or Sonoma that we didn't mention today that you think deserves an extra special shout out?
We were talking about wanting to shout out actually one of our clients. Her name is Alana Del Salvo, and she actually has a holistic nutrition company business. And it's called With Time Nutrition, time spelled as like the spice. And so, yeah, she does really great work. She does a lot of free workshops, a lot of different things like on blood sugar and gut health and all that kind of stuff. And so she's been really a great resource for a lot of our clients and beyond. She's starting hopefully a new branch to her business of doing some
meal prep work.
Yeah, meal prep.
Yeah.
Through Sonoma and Marin. So she actually lives down in Marin, and so she wants to basically target both different counties.
Great. We'll tag her if she's on Instagram as well for these.
Yeah, it's With Time Nutrition on Instagram. Yeah.
Seasoning time.
Yes, seasoning time.
Yep. THYME. If anyone doesn't know,
I know. I was like, I don't want to.
Someone's gonna be like, I don't know how to spell the seasoning. It didn't help me at all.
And for me, that is a wrap today. But let me ask you: is there anything that we haven't mentioned today that you wanted to add before we log off here?
I feel like we covered all the bases. We really appreciate you even having us on.
It was a lot of fun.
I appreciate having you guys on, and you've been mentioned so much, and why not? We had to have you on here. You've been a big deal for all these other guests that have been on here, so it was only a matter of time. So I appreciate you hopping on. And until next time, I'm your host, Kyle Masterpool from the Marin-Sonoma podcast.